Good seeing you too.
That shouldn't be though, either, because I got a 913 already.
Hi, Jack, how are you doing tonight?
I don't know. Don't try and call me from a phone booth, because there ain't any phone booths anymore. I don't know where Superman changes his clothes. The unisex bathroom.
What's good sitting back there and it doesn't look like that?
Yeah, the usually space. He doesn't like his phone.
What's good sitting on this and back there?
Well, I use it for this second word.
Oh, my. You know how you got your assistant?
That's right, so I drove out here to rush hour and all that sort of stuff, but he's driving home.
That's the way to get yourself.
That's right.
I can't wait for that.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I don't want to go, I don't know if I can make it though. Like, what do you take? Because I need somebody to look at that.
You know what, he does actually, he does. Right, doesn't want her all.
2 minutes. Does the city using any electricity today?
Just in case anyone's wondering, we're waiting on Councilman Freeman. I just received a text message from him that said 2 minutes, so we'll be starting work with. Good evening. Well, with everyone here, we'll go ahead and get started with the City Council work session for this evening. Discussion item is the 2015 budget. And we have this scheduled for an hour with a council meeting to follow at 7. We are hopeful that we'll finish in the hour. If we don't, we will break shortly before 7 o'clock to so that we can start the council meeting, and we'll pick up the work session at the conclusion of the council meeting. That being said, Laura Gorley, good evening. Always good to see you here.
Oh, thank you. Good evening, Mayor and Council. And so here we are. I'm here to present the 2015 City Administrator's proposed budget. And this budget is intended to be the roadmap for building community and sense of place. as you know, but maybe not everybody here does, the city uses the priority-based budgeting cycle to create their budget. And this cycle is intended to get desired outcomes, a multi-year planning process, and it involves evaluating the results and adjusting our process as needed. Here, our budget cycle never ends, and it's developed in phases. The first phase is always stakeholder input. And for the 2015 budget, we had a lot of stakeholder input. As you can see, we've discussed with the business community, the faith-based community. We took your input following your last fall CIP tour. And we have input from our citizens, not only in the 2014 Citizen Survey, but also from their work on the Comprehensive Plan Advisory Committee and the Economic Development Advisory Task Force. In review of various work sessions we've had, on April 7th, we reviewed the 2013 end-of-the-year budgetary highlights, and we also presented project status for 2013 and 2014 initiatives at that time. At the June 2nd work session, City Administrator Harrison Lee provided you with 2014 additional budget initiatives and 2015 initiatives. And those are short-term goals that are intended to support the governing body's strategic goals. Following the June 16th City Council meeting, staff received direction from the governing body to develop a plan for salaries to become market competitive. So staff takes all of this input and blends and balances the stakeholder input, the department needs, adjustments from evaluation and monitoring phases, including the trending of our revenues and our expenditures and our changes in fund balance, and the governing body's consensus direction, and blends all that into the city administrator's recommended budget. So tonight, we set the maximum expenditures from this budget, and those will be published in the July 9th newspaper per statute. So we're working backwards from there. So as we discussed at the April 7th work session, we talked about budgetary highlights, including our fund balances, and I always remind you that the fund balances remain strong. And during that work session, we discussed that our property and sales tax revenues were continuing to increase, and they still are continuing to increase. So the financial future of our community is strong. A review of the governing body's strategic goals and priority-based budgeting. These are the goals that the governing body set to develop your vision for the city, and all of our budget initiatives are developed to support these governing body strategic goals. Number 1 is promote economic development. Number 2 is improve quality of life. Number 3 is fiscal stewardship. And number 4 is infrastructure and asset management. So I'm going to do a really brief review of what City Administrator Harrison Lee presented to you at June 2nd, just as a reminder. And I will also note that the gold stars indicate that the governing body identified anything with the gold star as a priority during your June 2nd work session. So, in 2014, additional budget initiatives for promoting economic development, we've included a downtown district plan, estimated at $50,000. As you recall, your downtown district area is anchored by your aquatic center, City Hall, the library, the school, and the historic park maintenance building. This is intended to be your community sense of place. It serves as the heart of your city and represents our unique heritage of the community. It's supposed to be pedestrian-friendly and sustainable, resilient community through diversification of non-residential uses. It's all about creating an experience and a community sense of place. I'll also remind you you had a visit from KDOT where they committed for a study to help you develop this sense of place. And then we had the 175th and I-35 infrastructure study, estimated at $50,000. We've identified 175th and I-35 as an area with strong development potential. So this study is to look at available parcels in a high, medium, and low development scenario and the infrastructure options that would be needed for each. So this will enable you to be strategic and fiscally responsible with your investment in your infrastructure. And it also will embrace a unified approach to your infrastructure demands because you have to have all utilities for development. And quality infrastructure is a catalyst for economic development, and planned and shovel-ready facilitates grant funding because it demonstrates your willingness to play a significant role in the future. So, and that's actually included on grant applications. 2014 additional budget initiatives for infrastructure and asset management. We included a facility needs study. As you know, your parks maintenance building is historic and significantly underutilized, and it's part of your downtown district, and it's perfect for repurposing. You'll also remember at your CIP tour that your police station is aging and in need of extensive repairs, so we have to balance all those repairs and continued investment versus just a new facility. So this study will determine the best use of city resources, including relocating the park maintenance facility. 2015 budget initiatives for promoting economic development. Again, the gold star for marketing and rebranding, indicating that you've identified that as a priority. Marketing and rebranding is about telling our story and refreshing our image and establishing our mission as business friendly and supportive of economic development. It also is likely to include defining a gateway to your city, uniform signage and wayfinding tools, those sorts of things. The park maintenance building, this funding is a follow-up to the 2014 facility needs study. This study would be for the adaptive reuse of your parks building, like the Lenexa Thompson Barn facility or something like that. And it is critical for your downtown sense of place. The Land Development Code update funding is complementary to your comprehensive plan. If your comprehensive plan is the vision for what you want to do, the Land Development Code update is the implementation tool for how you're going to do it. A vision without an implementation tool is a wasted vision, and the effectiveness of your comp plan will be realized through this Land Development Code update. And it will also enhance business attraction by streamlining the administrative and regulatory processes. For improving quality of life in the 2015 budget initiatives, we had the downtown decorative lighting. Again, it's the ambiance in your sense of place. It's actually low-hanging fruit, and it's visually appealing. It should take away some of your overhead clutter. You also have the downtown sidewalks funding. This amount represents the city's share of a CDBG project. Your downtown